Hello Sales Nation, I'm Will Barron, host of the Salesman Podcast, and in this video, 5 of the world's top sales and business experts share their top tips on how to close, deal with, win business from the C-suite, the CEO, CFO, CMO, and a whole lot more.
If you look at your job as a salesperson as I must close the deals in front of me, then you can be certain that at least some percentage of the time, you're not going to be closing the right deals, that you are going to be manipulating people. You will. It's just plain math. That if your intent, if your purpose is to close the deal, you are going to align your behavior in order to achieve that objective. If, however, your objective, your true purpose, your true intent is to help the other person, is to support their success, then you may find that you disqualify a higher percentage of the people who you are in front of. I also think that the numbers bear out that you will close a higher percentage of the people in front of you as well, because they are going to feel, whether they know it or not, they are going to intuit. And I don't think of intuition as some kind of woo-woo thing out there. It's the subtle ways in which our brains are able to make meaning of tremendous amounts of information. And when we're face-to-face with somebody, even on the phone with someone, then we feel, we take in so much information. So if my purpose, Will, is to really support you, and I'm trying to sell to you, if I'm trying to help you rather than feeling like I must close this business, you will intuit a difference between me and my competition, because 9 out of 10 salespeople out there are out there to close the deal. And you don't give a crap about my quota. You give a crap about your success. You give a crap about your numbers. You give a crap about the ease of your business life. And if that's what I'm there to support, you're going to trust me, because I'm actually trustworthy.
What happens is folks in a room, folks on a Skype, folks on a phone call, if they perceive a large status gap between you and them, they functionally are not able to listen to the ideas you have. All right. In the same way that if you're a bum walks into your office, right, and starts telling you the greatest ideas in the world, you can't listen to those ideas because of the social status, or, a valet guy, or I don't want to insult people. The garbage guy comes in and he starts telling you about quantum physics and the Hyperloop and, solar energy efficiency. You literally, because of the status of that individual, can't accept that information. All right. The CEO of your company comes down. He starts talking about Hyperloop, energy efficiency, quantum physics, perpetual energy. And even though these things are, far off and seem impossible, you listen because of the status. So the status imbalance is the problem. I once went to a meeting in my pickup truck, in a Ford F-150, and I got to the meeting in Beverly Hills, on North Beverly Drive. I'm walking into the meeting, and the governor of California walks by the other way. It's the biggest private equity group in Southern California, managed tens of billions of dollars, and I parked this giant sort of lifted F-150 pickup truck, in the valet area, because there's nowhere to park. They're having trouble parking it. The guy I'm meeting with goes, "Hey, I like you. You bring us a lot of business. I like working with you. You're funny. Never bring that fucking pickup truck to my office again. Here's a check, $95,000 or whatever it is, $102,000. Go buy yourself an M5."
There's no magic in our process other than we move that conversation with power, which in many buying cycles doesn't happen till you get all the way to the end after you've expended so much time and resource. We move it up front and we give them everything they need to make a decision. So here's the problem. Do you have it? Do you care to solve it? Here's the value attached to solving it. And will you invest some of your people's time in it? Because it's not free. There's disruption to your business. It'll take time to verify it. So that first step in the process is zero in on zebras and only pursue zebras. The second is identify all the individuals who you think might be power. Like we talked about before, that could be 4 or 5, a big company, that could be 4 or 5 per division, right? The third step is actually meeting with power and having this meeting we're talking about. And at the end of that meeting, I like to ask, look, if I can verify that we can create this level of value through the people you trust, and that'll happen in the next step if you'll endorse me, if you'll sponsor me, then I'd like to know if you'd be inclined to buy. It's a fair business question. It's not one of those always be closing questions, right? Because you've done it with some sales verve, right? Then the next step, if they do say yes, if she says yes, I'll give you access to the people I trust. Now you collaboratively verify your value, and that next step we actually call it partner to verify value. Then the fifth step is collaboratively present the results back to power. So when you originally presented to power, you had a hypothesis. It was based on some pretty good data. You did your homework. You've got references that are really similar to them, and you've created value that they verified. So you've got proof. You took them through a process that with the people they trust. Now you're back co-presenting the results. So it's not yours anymore. It's collaboratively produced. So it's their people's business case, if you will.
I work with some clients that are selling to really large corporations, some of the largest corporations on the earth, really. And for them to get in front of a CEO or even a C-level executive, it's next to impossible. But if we define the C-suite as the true economic buyer, they can get in front of a president, they can get in front of a group vice president, and for them, that is like the CEO, the economic buyer for their type of sale. But with smaller, mid-size, or even large corporations, we can still get in front of the C-level executives, and in principle, we should. With C-level executives, we never want to be spamming out emails. They're not going to respond to broadcast emails. But I think even in the case, say you do a lot of work with Salesforce and you're not necessarily going to get in front of Mark, but I think understanding how Mark thinks, what Mark's priorities are, how he is orienting and directing the corporation, all of that is critical. So connecting with the high-level strategies and thoughts and goals and objectives of the CEO are important to you, regardless of which level of executive you actually end up connecting with.
Every company I've ever worked for, any company I've ever worked with, you're always told sell higher, right? And in some cases, yeah, you should. And in some cases, the C-suite's not going to be involved in every decision process. If I'm selling paper, copier paper, that's probably not going to be on the agenda of the C-suite. So I think the first thing you need to understand is the buying process. Who's involved? When are they involved? At what level? How high in an organization will this decision go? Some of that's going to be determined on the size of the company you're dealing with. If I'm selling into the small or mid-sized businesses, that decision, even if it's a $30,000 decision, might go to the president or C-suite level. Whereas if I'm calling on a Fortune 500 company, that might be at a lower level. So the first thing you want to understand is the buying process and really how high in the organization a typical decision goes.